Hey, Master Jedi, why are you so serious? Hondo asks Qui-Gon as he stares him directly in the eyes, with Qui-Gon's lightsaber held above his head. I won't fall prey to the tricks of pirates like you. On behalf of Chancellor Valorum, you're under arrest. The Jedi Master replies sternly. Qui-Gon raises his blade to deal a crippling blow to Hondo when suddenly, out of nowhere, the voice of a young boy echoes through the room. No! Qui-Gon is forced backwards by an unexpected burst of energy, knocking him into a nearby wall. Hondo takes this opportunity and stuns the Jedi Master, exclaiming with pride. Anakin, well done, my boy, he says. Anakin walks over to Hondo and he picks up Qui-Gon's lightsaber, igniting it. The green hue glows on his face and he looks directly into the eyes of Obi-Wan Kenobi on the other side of the room, who stands with his own lightsaber in his signature defensive position. Let's dance, Jedi, Anakin says. Have you ever wondered what would have happened if Anakin Skywalker had become one of Hondo Ohnaka's pirates? Well, if you have, you are in luck, because that's exactly the wacky scenario that we'll be exploring in today's video. So, cozy up with a warm bantha fur blanket and get ready for what if Anakin had joined Hondo Ohnaka's crew. Hondo Ohnaka, the notorious pirate, walks through the streets of Mos Espa as he takes a moment to refuel his ship. After a long journey of pirating, he required a day to simply sit back and relax. He'd made a few credits off a recent hijacking, and he simply wanted to blow some steam with his crew in town for a night. Maybe if they were lucky, they could even chat with a few pretty Twi'lek girls at the bar. However, as he's walking towards one of the many wretched hives of scum and villainy on Tatooine, where he could find entertainment for his men, something catches his eye. Hey, Annie, sweep my floors, you useless slave! He hears the voice of a sleazy man nearby, and a fat Toydarian catches his eye. Following that, a young boy rushes out of the rickety shop to oblige his master's wishes. The child couldn't have been more than 9 years old. He quietly sweeps the steps, keeping his eyes down, clearly not wanting to disobey the Toydarian's wishes. Hey, look at that, boss, one of the Weequay crewmen says to Hondo, clearly noticing the same thing. Not even us pirates would be that cruel to a poor kid. Hondo nods, his heart torn. Let's go check it out. What do we have to lose? We're pirates, after all, Hondo cackles. The gang of Weequay approaches Watto. Off-worlders, what can I do for you today? I assure you I have the best selection in town for any spare parts you need, he says cheerfully. Hondo laughs in response. Ah, businessman, I like you. You seem shrewd. We're born of the same cloth. I just hope you don't try and rip me off, otherwise we may have a problem, Toydarian, Hondo chuckles. Watto punches his arm playfully in response. Ah, never! You'll always find the perfect price at Watto's shop. Hondo smirks. Even for a slave? Watto looks back at Anakin, who's still sweeping the floor. The boy isn't for sale, Watto replies curtly. Hondo flashes a large bag of credits to Watto that he'd raided from a recent escapade. Are you sure about that? He asks. I don't take Republic credits here, Watto exclaims. Hondo tips his head away from Watto and sighs. Well, suit yourself. I'm sure that these would be worth a lot on your little backwater planet. In my experience, there are always people willing to accept Republic credits nearby. Oh, you could just exchange them for whatever poodoo currency that you use on this planet. You'd be a millionaire, I'm sure, he says. Then he gestures to one of his lieutenants behind him, who pulls out another bag of credits. I'm a wealthy man, Toydarian, and I want the boy, he says. Watto considers this for a moment, his eyes lighting up with the second bag. Deal, Weequay, he replies, shaking Hondo's hand firmly. Annie, he calls, signaling to the boy. Anakin runs over. What do you want me to do next, Watto? He asks. You're not mine anymore. These men have bought you. I have no use of you, Watto says, counting his credits. Wait, is Mom coming too? Anakin asks Hondo, looking at him with desperation. The pirate captain sighs. Ah, boy, you're going to cost me more than I thought. But I can never separate a young man from his mother. I love my mom. I should call her tonight. Hondo tosses another bag at Watto. For the mother, he says. Watto just laughs in response. Oh, you'll be paying even more for her, he replies. Hondo pulls out his blaster and clicks the pin into firing position. I'm not in the mood to negotiate, he says sternly. In fact, I think we're being quite generous with our offer, aren't we, boys? Hondo asks. His crew cheers in response. Fine, take them both. Neither of them are useful to me anyway, Watto says, calling for Shmi from his kitchen. Hondo departs with Anakin and Shmi, walking through the city of Mos Espa towards the ship. "Who are you people?" Anakin says. Hondo simply smiles. "We, my friend, are businessmen, and if you'd like, we'll show you and your mother the greatest adventure of your lives." The group boards the ship and takes off, ready to explore the stars. Finally, Anakin had the chance to live out his dreams of soaring through space. Shmi smiles as he sees her elated son when they jump to hyperspace, knowing that at least now they had masters who would care about them. When Hondo and the crew arrive on Florm, Anakin sees that all of the people are having a great time with everything that they could possibly need. Him and his mom see them being joyful, joking around, and living with the freedom that they'd always wanted. Hondo, being the good-natured man that he is, ends up giving Anakin and his mother a choice. "If you'd like, I'll set you free. We can have two of you on a ship out of here, set for whenever you'd like," the pirate proposes. "However, our crew and business could always use a couple of new additions to spice things up a little bit." Shmi looks at Hondo hesitantly. She doesn't know what kind of game he's playing, and she can tell based on their location and mannerisms that they seemed like some of the pirates she'd encountered in the past. She knows exactly what business that they're talking about, and she can't say that she is a huge fan. Based on her experience with many of these folks in the past, she's incredibly suspicious of Hondo. "So what's your game, Weequay?" she inquires. "Nobody's ever this kind in these parts, especially people of your..." She pauses, looking around the base. "Type." Hondo just laughs. "No, Anchorwoman, I'm no journalist. I just hope that you stay, especially since I can't guarantee that you'll be safe out there on your own in the void. These are dangerous parts, you see, as I'm sure you well know from your life on Tatooine. We take care of you on Florum. The choice, though, is yours." Anakin looks to his mother with eager eyes. "Can we stay, Mom? Please?" The adventure-hungry child pleads with his mom, not seeing that Hondo was actually a criminal. While Shmi is hesitant in dealing with folks of these sort, she sees that Anakin wants to explore some more. She also believes that these pirates aren't the worst types of people that she could be stuck with, as they seem to be legitimately kind-hearted. They seem decent, especially given the nature of their work. Finally, after some contemplation, Shmi smiles. "Sure, Anakin, we can stay." "Ah, I knew that you'd be wooed by the ever-charming Captain Hondo. Come, let me show you around," Hondo exclaims, tapping Anakin on the shoulder. Hondo shows Anakin and Shmi around the base, and the young child is incredibly impressed by everything that he sees. While the base is less than impressive, the crew seems to always be having fun. There's a sense of brotherhood among them, and they have everything that they could possibly need. "We see ourselves kinda like Robin Hood in these parts," Hondo says as he shows Anakin and Shmi their quarters. "Who's that?" Anakin asks. Hondo laughs. "Ah, Robin Hood is an ancient figure from the legends of some forgotten culture," Hondo replies. "He stole from the rich and gave to the poor." "It seems to me that you just steal from the rich and line your own pockets," Shmi says coldly, still not fully sold on Hondo's gang. "Exactly right. We're just simple men trying to make our way in the universe, and we don't have much money, but we have a very, very specific skill set. Pirates need to feed themselves too, you know," Hondo cackles in response. "At least he's honest," Shmi thinks privately. "Come, let me show you my ship," Hondo requests. "Yippee!" Anakin yells in response. "I've always loved the design of the HZ-40. Hondo cackles gleefully. "Ah, the boy knows his starships. You taught him well." He looks at Shmi with a small glisten in his eye. She smiles slightly, bashfully accepting the compliment without using words. After showing Anakin the controls of the ship and how it functions, Hondo asks the young boy a question. "So, my boy, how would you feel about trying to fly this old hunk of junk?" He asks with a massive smile on his face. "Really?" Anakin asks, elated. Shmi gives Hondo a look. "This is a big ship, pirate," she says, concerned. "Ah, it's an old one, and I'm right here to watch the boy," Hondo replies. Shmi sighs. "Okay, if you're confident in him," Shmi says to the pirate. "He's a good young pilot for sure." Hondo guides Anakin's hands on the controls as he lifts off the ground gently, and he's incredibly pleased with how quickly the boy picks them up. "Aha, this is incredible! With these reflexes, I would have thought you'd be a Jedi," he cackles. He shows Anakin how to maneuver the large ship with ease, and Anakin is having a spectacular time. The two are laughing together and enjoying one another's company. Shmi can't help but smile watching her son engage with this pirate. He was actually being a positive role model to Anakin, showing him how to fly and being present with him. Maybe these people weren't so bad after all. Maybe she wouldn't mind staying with them, and maybe it would be good for Anakin to have a figure like this in his life. When the ship gets put down, and when Anakin jumps for joy after successfully piloting the ship, Anakin runs away, and Shmi is left with Hondo. "You've got a good boy there," the pirate says. "Oh, I know," Shmi replies. "He's a good one." "He'll make a great addition to our crew, I'm sure, when he's old enough." Hondo laughs. Shmi smiles as well. "As long as you're teaching him the right lessons, as long as you're showing him how to be a good person and not just stealing for your own gain, as long as you're showing him how to live in this galaxy, I'm okay with that." Hondo smiles. "He's special, you know. I think he's got some force reflexes or something. I don't know much about the Jedi, but your boy, he's definitely a kid of legend. Nobody's been able to pilot that ship that well." Shmi nods. "Yes, back on Tatooine he used to pod race." "What?" Hondo exclaims. "A boy of his age, pod racing? That's absurd. I've never heard of anything so insane. You make me laugh. What is your name, by the way?" Shmi reaches out her hand. "I'm Shmi. Shmi Skywalker," she replies. Hondo takes it and shakes it ferociously. "Ah, and you already know me. I am Hondo Ohnaka, the captain of this ship and leader of this band of pirates. Oh, sorry. Legitimate businessman." Hondo smiles. "It is good to have you on board, Shmi Skywalker." Shmi laughs. "Yes, I think that I'll enjoy myself here as well." As the months go by, Anakin and Shmi become valued members of Hondo's gang. Anakin is trained in the ways of the pirates and how they live, and he ends up becoming an invaluable pirate asset. He's a great pilot, and everybody is shocked by how fantastic he is for his age. He often outflies even the most experienced weakways in Hondo's crew. One day, after a race through the skies of Florum, he lands with his weakway friend and gets tapped on the back. "Ah, Anakin, what a great race. I always love racing you," the weakway says to him. Anakin smiles and nods back. "Oh yeah, it's always a good race, I'm telling you. I love flying through the skies, and I always love beating you, you dang Farrakhan weakway." The man laughs. "I'll get you next time, Skywalker. Just you wait. Just you wait." As Anakin goes back to the base and ends up relaxing with his mother, Hondo tells him that he thinks he's ready for a mission. "Hey, young Skywalker, I think that you're about ready to come on a real mission with us. What do you think?" Anakin is elated. "Really? After all these months of training, finally?" "Of course, boy. I've been saying it since you came. You are a great asset. It's your mother who's concerned about you." Shmi smiles as she brings the two a bowl of Banthas stew from the kitchen. "Well, of course I worry about you, Anakin. You're my little boy, my little Annie." She gives them the bowls, and both of them scarf down the food after a long day of having fun and enjoying themselves with the pirate lifestyle. "So, what do you think, Annie? You want to come and go on an adventure with me?" Anakin claps his hands together excitedly. "Of course I do! Of course I do! I wanted to since day one," Anakin says. "Well, good. Get suited up. Tomorrow, we'll be off on our little adventure." The next day, Anakin prepares to go on his next adventure with Hondo's crew. He's excited, and he ends up being tasked to pilot one of the small, little, circular fighters that Hondo had in his fleet. Anakin is looking forward to it, as he'd been practicing for months for this moment. When they get into space, and they start perusing the planet, looking for something that's off, and maybe even something for them to take advantage of, a strange signal comes through the comms. "Attention! Anyone listening? We've been run out of fuel. Can anyone hear me?" Hondo hears this signal and laughs. "Ah, ha ha ha! This is our opportunity, boys. Let's go find this ship." Hondo's crew tracks the transmission, and Anakin's excited to see what happens. It turns out that there is a Republic consular-class cruiser that's been damaged and giving a distress signal off for the rest of the galaxy to hear. Hondo contacts the vessel. "Hey, I hear you've gotten in some trouble," the captain says. "We can help you. Let us on board and we will bring you here and give you some fuel, and you can be on your way. I will even give you some food and supplies to help you out. How does that sound?" Hondo asks. The crew replies elatedly, Yes, please, come aboard. We need your help right now. We've been adrift in space for a very long time." Hondo smiles. "Ah, yes, of course. We will come and help you. Hondo is generous." The transmission ends and Hondo looks at all of his fellow weakways on the bridge. "Now, pirates, we go and we pillage for ourselves." The pirates raise their fists in solidarity, excited to board the ship. Anakin, meanwhile, goes and pilots, and he ensures that this ship will not be able to escape. He acts as an escort to Hondo's ship, which is boarding. Anakin wonders if all of this is right, but then he remembers that it's a life of adventure that he'd signed up for, and that nobody was actually going to get hurt. He knew that Hondo would simply capture them, and, as always, place them for ransom for the Republic. He'd seen Hondo's tactics in the past, and he knew that the good-hearted pirate just wanted to make a few bucks. He didn't actually want to hurt anybody. So, when Hondo boards the ship, and when he takes these Republic officers on board hostage, rather than simply killing them and stealing their supplies, he knows that Hondo is actually a good man when he could have just killed them, and he could have simply destroyed their ship and pillaged it. But no, Hondo was smart. He knew profit when he saw it. When Hondo comes back to his ship with his prize in tow, captured, he's excited. We have to get in touch with the Republic now. This will give us a nice bounty, eh?" His crew once again cheers in excitement, and Anakin, who is back on Hondo's main ship now, also adds to the cheers of excitement. The next day, Chancellor Valorum is absolutely shocked when he hears the message about a bunch of pirates demanding a ransom for multiple Republic officers that they had apprehended. Valorum shakes his head, thinking to himself, what am I going to do about this one? With the demilitarized Republic, he couldn't just send in the army to go and try and get these guys back. So he calls in Master Yoda of the Jedi Council to ask for advice. "What should I do, Master Yoda? I haven't had a situation like this in a long time, and as you know, this administration has been quite peaceful under my oversight," he says.
Believe you should send the Jedi in, I do. Master Qui-Gon, an excellent negotiator, he is. Very personable, he is. Him and his Padawan do well, I think they would. Believe in them, I do. Negotiators, they can be,
Yoda says. Chancellor Valorum strokes his chin, contemplating this. I think you're right, Master Yoda. I will send Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan out to deal with these pirates on Florum, and they shall end up bringing our Republic officers back safely to us. Thank you for your insight, Master.
Of course, Chancellor,
Yoda says, bowing his head in respect before leaving the office. As Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are dispatched to Florum, and as Hondo hears of the negotiators coming, he comes up with another genius idea. In his mind, he believes that he would be able to drug these two Jedi, and demand an even higher ransom for the Republic for their capture. Jedi were highly valued, and Hondo believes that this could be a fantastic way to make a little bit more money without actually hurting anybody else. So, he specially requests that his bartender prepare Bantha brew for these Jedi, so that when they landed, they would have something to consume in celebration of their negotiations together. But Hondo knows exactly what he's doing. What a great plan, Hondo. You are spectacular, young Anakin says.
I know, boy. Hondo Ohnaka knows a good plan when he sees one. You know, I think that you should be right by my side when these Jedi arrive on the planet. You are a good representative for our little crew of pristine businessmen, Hondo says.
Really? Anakin looks up at Hondo, flattered.
Oh, absolutely, young Skywalker. You are going to be a great pirate one day, and even now, you bring my crew much honor. The Jedi should see that, and I believe you will be a fantastic asset for them to see.
Anakin smiles. Of course, I'll be by your side no matter what, he says to Hondo. Hondo smiles.
Excellent. I look forward to it.
When the Jedi arrive, Anakin stands alongside some of Hondo's most trusted lieutenants, and they greet Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Hey, Jedi! Good to see you on Florum. I haven't had one of you here in a long time. Come, let me show you around the place.
As Hondo goes and shows the Jedi around, he settles them into the bar, hoping that they will accept his offer of a drink. But before that, he goes off and wants to speak with Shmi in the kitchen. Anakin ends up going to his quarters early as he can't participate in the festivities, and as he's walking by the kitchen, he catches a glimpse of Hondo and Shmi chatting in the kitchen. They're both laughing with each other privately and engaging in some intimate conversations that he can't quite make out. They're whispering to one another. Anakin thinks little of it, but he can inexplicably sense that there's a spark between the two. Anakin would keep that in the back of his mind, and he'd remember to ask Hondo about it later. But now, he was ready for bed, as tomorrow would be a big day for him. That night, Hondo tries to execute his plan. While the Jedi are enjoying their time in the bar, socializing with the other pirates, Hondo offers them a drink.
Hey, why don't we share a little drink together to celebrate our new friendship?
He asks, raising his glass to the Jedi and asking the bartender to produce the special beverage. Obi-Wan is about to take the drink. However, Qui-Gon stops him, slapping his hand away.
Don't, Obi-Wan. Not now, he says.
But why not, Master?
I don't like to negotiate after having a few beverages, he says. I like to be in a clear mind, and alcohol, well, it pollutes it, he replies.
Are you sure? Are you insulting my bartender? Hondo says with a slight chuckle.
No, I assure you, you're not the only one who I act this way with. In all of my dealings, I try to avoid the influence of alcohol, especially on official Republic business.
Qui-Gon replies.
Ah, suit yourself then, Jedi. You don't know how to have a little fun, I guess, eh?
Hondo says, scarfing down one of the alcoholic beverages and looking at Kenobi and Qui-Gon. They simply stare back, enjoying their time in peace and quiet with Hondo's pirates. Then, Hondo takes them to their quarters, and Obi-Wan asks his master why he had refused to take the drink. Master, normally you would be happy to take a beverage of such nature, he says. Qui-Gon looks around, ensuring that nobody is listening.
I don't trust these pirates, young one. You'll learn as time goes on that there are all sorts of different folks in the Republic, and some of them are less.
Qui-Gon pauses, trying to think of a term to explain what he was thinking.
Savory than others. I have a bad feeling about this, Obi-Wan. And I think that if you looked deep into your heart, you would find that you do too.
Upon further examination, Obi-Wan does find that he has some slight reservations about the pirates, and he understood where his master was coming from, although he did always enjoy a good glass of Bantha Brew with Qui-Gon Jinn. The next morning, after a nice breakfast prepared by Shmi Skywalker, Hondo takes the Jedi into a sketchy back room with some of his other pirates, including the young Anakin Skywalker. Shmi's out of harm's way working in the kitchen, but she expresses to Hondo that such a young boy being involved in something like this wasn't something that she would recommend. Anakin's a good boy, and he's negotiating now with Jedi, the government. You're having him put his life on the line for something as ridiculous as money, she says. Hondo uses his charm, though, to win her over. Ah, Shmi, your boy, I have so much faith in him. Your boy, I love him like a son, and I think that he is a spectacular example of what my pirates should be. He has spirit, he has heart, he has adventurous gusto, and I want him with me to learn. I doubt anything will go wrong. In fact, I have such faith in my plan that this is going to go just the way that I want it, and I will be there to protect him if anything goes wrong. Shmi, your boy, I have faith in him. After this interaction, Shmi smiles and nods. Okay, I trust you, Hondo. I believe what you have to say, and I trust that you'll take care of Anakin if anything goes wrong. I'll allow you to have him for negotiations. When Anakin's walking by again, he hears this conversation and is curious about it. He often goes to the kitchen to visit his mother, and this was another one of those instances. So he hears Hondo talking about him, and he hears his mother expressing concern. He's quite pleased with what Hondo has to say, and he's glad that he makes the pirate proud. However, he also sees them share a brief kiss out of the corner of his eye, and his jaw drops to the floor. He had no idea that Hondo and his mom had a relationship like that, but now, looking back, he should have seen the signs, their flirty laughter with one another, the way that she had accepted his compliment so bashfully on that first day that they had met. This was something that he wanted to know about. Anakin is upset, he's angry, and so he turns cold to Hondo. "Hey, my boy," Hondo says when he comes out of the kitchen. "Are you ready for the negotiations?" Anakin looks at him with a sharp glare in his eye and simply nods. "Oh, what's the matter, Anakin? You never act like this," he says. Anakin simply shrugs. "I don't know. You tell me." Hondo is taken aback by this response, but he doesn't think much of it. Then, he also decides to take Anakin into the negotiations still. They enter the dingy back room, and there the Jedi are waiting for them with a bunch of the Weequay pirates. "Hey, Jedi, it's good to see you again. Did you sleep well?" "Oh, I slept very well," Obi-Wan says, "especially in that dingy back room that you threw us in." "Hey, you Jedi are too spoiled at your big cushy temple on Coruscant. No, that was my finest guest accommodations." "Well, I think you need some work then," Obi-Wan responds curtly. "Alright, well, let's get down to business," Hondo says. He signals his lieutenants in the room, and immediately the plan is executed. Hondo starts to get greedy, and he orders more of his pirates into the room, and they surround the Jedi. "Well, this is what I like to call aggressive negotiations, hey, Master?" Obi-Wan says. Qui-Gon scoffs. Yes, my boy. We'll show them what aggressive negotiations look like. They want to play like this? Well, we'll play their game," Qui-Gon says. The two ignite their lightsabers, and they are ready to go. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are master swordsmen, and they quickly dispatch of many of Hondo's men. They push them against the walls, knocking them unconscious, or they slice off the limbs of the Weequays with the skill of their lightsabers. Because they had sent something off the night before, they're quick on their feet and know what's going on. Hondo, however, manages to take Qui-Gon by surprise while he's dealing with some of the other Weequays and hits him in the back with a stun blast. After this happens, Obi-Wan leaps towards Hondo with his lightsaber in hand, and Anakin shocks everyone when he yells "No!" and he ends up doing something completely unexpected. He force pushes Obi-Wan backwards into the wall, throwing him against the rocky surface. Obi-Wan looks at the boy in wonder, baffled that the Order hadn't found him when he was younger. This was someone with explicit force ability and explicit talent in how he knew how to wield it. "My goodness, boy, you have abilities, you have prowess. You should come and join the Order," Obi-Wan says. "We could train you, we could make you even better than you already are." Anakin smiles at him. "I think I found my family here," he says. Even though he'd been mad at Hondo earlier, Anakin sees that Hondo had cared about him and that he cared about his mother. So, when Obi-Wan extends this offer to him, Anakin refuses, smiling at the pirate. "Ah, that's my boy," Hondo says, clapping excitedly. In that moment, Anakin takes Qui-Gon's lightsaber from his hand, and he manages to turn it on, and he attacks Obi-Wan, but because he doesn't have any skills with a sword, and he's more experienced with a blaster, so uncivilized, he has to improvise. They dance together through the hallways, and Anakin slices as best as he can, but Obi-Wan effortlessly blocks his strange, striking maneuvers. At the end of the day, Obi-Wan ends up defeating Anakin with his superior abilities with the saber, but he's impressed by the young boy. However, he gets too caught up in the battle, and when he forces Anakin against the wall, demanding his surrender, he doesn't sense Hondo creeping up behind him. He gets shot by another stun blast as well, just like his master had, and Anakin thanks Hondo for the help. "Thank you, Hondo," Anakin says. "I really appreciate it." Anakin realizes that this is his family, and that he couldn't just leave them for some guy that he'd just met, and an Order that had never cared about him when he was younger, that had never made the effort to free him and his mother like Hondo have. Hondo smiles, proud of the young boy. Shmi runs into the room and hugs Anakin. "Annie, my boy," she says. "Are you okay?" "Yeah, ma'am. I'm fine," Anakin says. She's just happy that he had been successful. When Valorum gets the news that 2 Jedi had also been captured by these outrageous pirates, he decides that the time had come to stop just negotiating with them. He gives in to their exorbitant Ransom demands, not wanting to risk another Jedi or Republic officer in the face of adversity. This adds to Palpatine's ammunition against him when he says that Valorum is a weak chancellor who doesn't have a grasp on the galaxy and who lets crime run rampant and even rewards it. When Hondo receives the money for this ransom, he throws a massive party for his entire pirate gang. He's rich and he can do whatever he wants, and he wanted to reward his men for their good work. Anakin, though, isn't allowed to attend as a boy. His mother definitely forbids it. "Oh, come on, let the boy have some fun," Hondo says. Shmi smirks. "No, not this time, Hondo," she replies. Before the party, however, Hondo and Shmi decide to tell Anakin about their relationship. Anakin reveals that he'd seen them kiss in the kitchen and he knew what was going on, and initially he hadn't been a fan. "I didn't like how you were hiding stuff from me," Anakin says. "But, I'm okay with it, now that I know you guys are together. And Hondo, I hope you're okay if I call you Dad." Hondo laughs with joy. "Of course, my boy, of course. I've always wanted to have a son." He hugs Anakin, looking forward to where their relationship would take them in the future. "You, my boy, are going places, and I am already so proud of you," Hondo says. Shmi smiles as well. "We both are, Anakin," she says. "Your mother's a good woman, Anakin. It takes a lot to get a guy like me to settle down, and, well, she certainly has," Hondo says. "I never thought I'd settle down in my life, but Shmi showed me another path, and I love her for it." Because of the massive haul of government money, Hondo decides that he wants to throw a massive wedding with Shmi in the city of Canto Bight, and Anakin would be in the wedding procession. The pirates are elated, and they have an absolute blast when the wedding happens in the beautiful city. Many of them go to explore the vast halls of the casinos later on, and they have a fabulous time at the wedding reception. Anakin is so happy to finally see his mother happy. He's a restless soul though, and he still loves to fly. He decides that he's going to learn more with Hondo about piloting and continuing to further his skills, maybe even getting into the pod racing arena again. He also decides to do some more personal research into his Force abilities after what had happened with Obi-Wan. He knows that he's special, and he wants to learn why. Maybe he could find out more about the Jedi as he traveled the galaxy. Hondo approves of this, prompting Anakin to go on as many adventures as he needs with the support of his pirates. With Anakin entering his teen years, and with his new family established in opulence, Anakin can do whatever he wants. He's been freer than ever before, and he loves it. Meanwhile, on Coruscant, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon report back to the Council about the young boy.
Interesting this is," Yoda says. "Keep an eye out for him in the future, we should."
"Yes, I agree, Master Yoda," Mace Windu replies. "We must see what this boy's talents lead him to. Perhaps one day we could welcome him among our ranks."
"But too old he is,"
Yoda says. "Ah, Master Yoda, this boy is special, I'm telling you," Qui-Gon replies. "I never would have expected it from him, but I think that if we find him again, we should bring him into the Order." Obi-Wan begins looking for Anakin in the shadows, hoping to find him once again. He wants to treat him as a rival, somebody that he can actually figure out how to defeat in the future, especially if Anakin would continue his Force training without the Jedi. While Anakin has so much fun being his pirate and living in his opulent life, Obi-Wan continues to search for him, wondering if he would ever find that boy again. Anakin's having the time of his life, and he is happy that he is finally free and has the family that he loves. Alright everyone, now is the period where we go into the Ask Anything segment of our videos. This is where we take a look at questions that are posed by people in the Discord server and provide an answer to them. So, today's question that I'm going to look at is, "Hey Bantha Stew, do you like baseball? Because my team just won," and that is from Eli Amadallah Naberi in the Discord server. You know what, I gotta say, unfortunately, I am not a huge baseball guy. I guess it's just because I didn't grow up in Toronto, that's kind of Canada's baseball team, and again, I'm a Canadian. I also never really found it incredibly exciting, personally. I think that if I had grown up with the Jays, I would have liked it a lot more, because my family in Ontario, whenever I go to visit, they'll have the Jays games on, and I don't hate it. It's not a terrible sport to watch, it's just not my favorite, and I don't go out of my way to watch, because I only really watch sports that I have a connection to the team with. So, for example, I am a massive hockey fan, as some of the folks in the Discord server know, and I cheer for the Edmonton Oilers, which are my hometown hockey team, because I grew up with the Oilers. I met the players when I was younger. My grandma was George Larocque's favorite cashier, if any of you guys know who he is, when he was playing in Edmonton. So I have pictures with him, I have pictures with my grandma, I have a few different pieces of memorabilia that have been signed by the team. Actually, funny story, I have 3 jerseys, and none of them have been bought by me. All of them have been gifts, which is nice because they're very pricey. So I really appreciate that. But that's what I'm saying. I really connect with sports that have a home team connection for me. I'm a big CFL fan too. I don't watch the NFL a whole lot. Every once in a while I do during the playoffs. But the CFL, I have a big connection to the Edmonton Elks because that's the team I grew up watching. So I think that because of those good memories and because of that positive influence that both teams had on me when I was very young and continue to have on me now, like for example, when I go home and it's playoff season, absolutely electric, the best time of year. The whole city is orange and blue. Everybody's wearing their memorabilia. Everybody's out there unified behind a common form of excitement. And it's so much fun. I love it so much. It's the best time of year because you can go up and make friends with literally anybody. You walk up to somebody, hey, you watching the Oilers game tonight? Instant best friend. And that's why I connect with sports, I think. It gives me a way to connect with my hometown, even though I'm far away. And because of that, hockey and Canadian football are the two that I primarily enjoy. So, long story short, I'm not a huge baseball fan, but I do watch the Jays on occasion. Thank you very much for that question, Padme, and I really liked that one. I liked answering that one. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, everyone. I would love to hear what your favorite sport is in the comments. Do you like baseball? Do you like hockey? What type of sports do you enjoy, and why? What's your favorite team? Please comment below. I would love to hear from you all. In addition, I would also be really interested to hear if you'd like a part 2. If you do, please comment below what you think would happen in part 2. I would love to hear from each and every one of you. Again, thank you for watching this video. If you want to have your questions answered or your what-ifs possibly pop up in future videos, please join the Discord so that I can connect with you and have a great time interacting with the fellow Star Wars fans in our Bantha Stew community. It's great, it's awesome, and I would love to see you all there. Again, I hope that each and every one of you has an absolutely bantastic day, and as always, I hope that you've had your daily delicious dose of Bantha Stew.